What's going on, guys? This is Wade with Trade ATS. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the price of Ethereum, where I think it's headed, and the major correlation it has with Google Trends. If you're interested in investing in Ethereum, this is a video you do not want to miss, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so getting right into it, we're talking about the price of Ethereum. I've been getting some questions from subscribers recently asking me about Ethereum specifically and where I think it's headed. I did a video recently about Bitcoin and where I think Bitcoin's headed, and this video is actually going to be somewhat similar because basically all the major cryptocurrencies follow Bitcoin. If you look at CoinMarketCap website and you look at all, they have little charts off to the right of the screen, and you can see that all the prices basically just follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up, then all the majors follow it. If it goes down, then the majors will follow it down as well. So with Ethereum, it's basically a different technology than Bitcoin. I take that back. Same fundamental decentralized currency, but they have these things called smart contracts that Ethereum came up with, where they're basically trying to build an entirely decentralized way of buying fractional ownership in businesses, which is kind of the big vision, or part of the big vision with Ethereum. So I totally get it. Like, there's definitely a technology advantage with Ethereum over Bitcoin Core that definitely could take off. But there are other cryptocurrencies right now that are actually coming out. Bitcoin SV is going to have the same scalability and capability. If you want to look that up, look at Bitcoin's SV, or Satoshi's Vision, led by N-Chain and Craig Wright. Definitely some interesting things to check out there. If you haven't checked out and you're interested in this space, I would definitely look that up. But anyway, I definitely think that Ethereum is obviously still in the running. I think cryptocurrencies are definitely here to stay. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They're seeing some swings, for sure, some major volatility, especially, 2017 was a huge representation of that. But if you look back in the history of Bitcoin, there's been 80+% corrections over and over and over again. Anyone that's been in Bitcoin a long time or been investing in Bitcoin will tell you that this is like the 20th bubble. So they really, they just understand this is just kind of part of the adoption of this technology, is these gigantic bursts of a volume, and it crashes and then it keeps going. So where do I think Ethereum's headed? Well, obviously it's going to be according to ATS methodology, and we're looking at it from a mostly technical standpoint, taking fundamentals into consideration, but the exact hard levels that I would be looking at will be based off of our algorithm. And what I'm looking at right now is that if we look at the overall bubble, from starting back here in basically early 2017, this is where it really took off, and then obviously we had the explosion in the end of 2017. If you look back, we leave what we call liquidity lines, and what these green lines represent is where people are still holding potentially profitable positions. And as the market is crashing, you'll notice it gets through these levels, and then we end up seeing where it pushes down and pushes down. So what this is that people are anyone that bought and is still holding profit in this up run right here, these levels are where, if they have not taken their profits off the table, which a lot of people may be surprised to hear this, but most traders do not take their profits off the table when it's in maximum profit. They just don't. So they're not going to take that profit because they're hoping that it's going to keep going and going and going. So they will end up closing, most traders will end up closing their trades when their beliefs are challenged. For instance, you have this situation right here where it finally just went literally just vertical right here. But that started at this point, and this liquidity line is representing where those traders would be literally, if they bought at that earliest price right there going straight up. Now price at this point is back challenging that belief structure. And that's basically what our algorithm is all about, is understanding where the belief structures are going to be challenged and then mapping the market according to those belief structures. So we can see right here those have been challenged, but you can see that we still have more liquidity lines to go, all the way down to around, basically like $5 to $12 range is what I'm seeing in there, but I don't know the exact dollar amount, but it's low. It could correct more. It could, or this could be the turn here. Either way, if you're going to invest in Ethereum and you're in it for the long run, these are definitely low prices to get involved for sure. But don't be surprised if we don't, or if we come and basically blow out these people that are still holding profitable positions and correct all the way down. It definitely could happen. So let me give you the levels here. So right here we have, I'd be looking all the way down to around $10. We have liquidity there. We have liquidity at around 40. We have liquidity between 70, basically $70 and $80. And then the most recent level formed is at $100. So those are kind of what I'd be looking at. If it does start cratering, those are definitely levels that you would be able to buy in, because here's the thing is that basically this liquidity is either going to push the market, or what we're looking for is we're looking for the smart money, the real investors in this market. Those are the ones that are going to actually be the ones that turn the market, and they will eventually start taking the other side of this liquidity rather than just let it crash the market. You see right here, this liquidity is just crashing the market down. So what we're looking for is for that to stop at these levels. That shows that smart money's coming in and they are starting to accumulate the other side. So like right here, you have this run up right here. Let me zoom in on a little bit more so I can explain a little better here. You have this run up right here, and this is a daily chart, right? So with this run up, if you bought in right here, then this would be the limit of your belief, right? So if you were holding a profitable position up this run on the daily, right now it's come back, you're like, okay, well, you saw a really good profit up here at the top, but let's say price does spike down, right? Right now you're holding the position and you're expecting that this is the turn, because that's what the media is saying, is like it's coming around, and a bunch of people that are all for Ethereum are telling you that this is the bottom, this is the bottom. So your belief every time you get in a trade is, this is it, this is the bottom, this is the turn. But if it's not, because people thought that this was the bottom, they thought this was the bottom, they thought this was the bottom. If it's not, let's just assume that your belief is going to probably be challenged. So if you bought right here, right in that spike, which most people probably didn't, they probably got in here or up here, they're going to see this, basically this visual kind of pattern representation of price. They're going to see that it's crawling back down. And I'm going to tell you right now that right here, that's when the belief structure of this up run is going to be challenged at this level. And that's where these lines are programmed to appear automatically. So here's the thing though, how do we put this together where we actually find the true bottom, or what could be the true bottom, or a good place to invest in? The minute that you see price coming down and you see these belief structures being challenged, and then price starts coming back up and taking those prices, that right there is an excellent signal that people are accumulating the other side of that liquidity. Think about it. If you bought right here and price gets back down to here, you're going to want to sell, right? You're going to want to sell, and then what's the other side of that sell? It's a buy. So right here becomes a discounted buying opportunity for a smarter trader. And same thing down here. Here's this belief structure that's been created. People that bought at this turn down here are going to be challenged right here. That's where they're going to be out of the money, and most people are not going to catch that turn. That'd be very tight right there. Most people are going to get in up here. So they're going to watch the market come down. They're going to be out of the money, and then when it finally hits that point, that's where the trigger is. And that's where the decisions are made. That's where the information is given. It's at that live edge of the market. That's where we get all the clues. So anyway, so point is, we have liquidity to go because it's left over from people holding long-term profitable positions, people that think they're safe still. So these people can get blown out, and that will be the ultimate discounted price, is to take it back to $10, and you'll probably see an aggressive turn. Now, I'm not saying don't start buying. You could buy right now if you believe in the technology. You're going to be a long-term holder. By all means, start putting some money in. That's it's up to you. It's your decision. Disclaimer. It's up to you. Not giving financial advice, just opinions. But just know that it definitely could correct more. And those are the levels we'd be looking at. So another thing I want to show you real quick too is a correlation with Google Trends. If you look up the topic Ethereum on Google Trends, right here I have a 5-year chart, and this is basically it's charting people's interest in the Ethereum topic over the course of 5 years. Obviously, you can see it was basically flat all the way until the beginning of 2017, right here, and this is where that interest flared up. And the way you can look at this is another indicator of when Ethereum's actually going to turn up. We could see we got a few little spikes in interest, but overall it's nothing like it was. So what you can think of is that the way that I think of this is my opinion again, is that Google Trends represents new interest and money coming into the market, okay? This is right here. This is not a trend saying the price is going to go up. This is interest. These are inquiries into Google. People saying, I heard about this thing called Ethereum. What does that mean, right? So these are actually correlated with interest. And then my view on it is interest equals basically correlates to new liquidity introduced into the market. And that's why we see these peaks. And then right here where the interest fell off is where new money stopped coming into the market, okay? And when new money stopped coming into the market, that's where we saw the collapse. Where is it peaked out? Right here. This is literally January 7th to January 13th, 2018. And then let's go back to the chart, the peak right here. It's in January. So if you take the interest out of the market, then you take the money flowing into it, the new money, which is going to build the price and prop it up. You're taking that out of the market, okay? All you're left with is previous investors, okay? So if there's no money to stack up, kind of sadly, kind of like a Ponzi scheme, there's no new money to stack up, then you are left with the existing investors, and as they fall, without that new money to keep flooding and coming into the market and holding their positions, you're going to get the collapse, and that's what we're seeing. So if the new money, according to Google Trends, came in beginning of 2017, that's basically right here. That's where I think that that's why I think we could ultimately come down and blow out that liquidity, and then we'll end up getting our up move. But it could happen right here. Like I said, I think it's still definitely a good price to start buying in if you believe in the technology and you're a long-term investor. But anyway, I think the correlation is interesting, and that's what I'd be looking at. So hopefully this video helps and gave you a little more insight into Ethereum. If you're interested in our software, you can look us up at tradeats.com. We're currently accepting subscribers as of March 7th, which is the day of this video, and be more than happy to teach you about what we do. So until then, we will see you guys on our next video.